Dear Chayalim, please find your seats and get ready to join with your fellow soldiers around the world. The rally will begin in 5 minutes. Dear Chayalim, please find your seats and get ready to join with your fellow soldiers around the world. The rally will begin in 2 minutes. Dear Chayalim, please find your seats and get ready to join with your fellow soldiers around the world. The rally will begin in 1 minute.
Ay, 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 welcome Melbourne, welcome Australia, and welcome Chayalim from around the world. Today is Chof Aleph Mar-Cheshvan, and we are celebrating from this past Shabbos. We are celebrating Chof Cheshvan, of course, the birthday of the seventh Lubavitch, or the seventh Rebbe from the Baal Shem Tov, and the fifth Lubavitch Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab. So first, let's start off with a L'chaim, and I hope everyone has grape juice somewhere there to make a bracha, because today we're in for a very exciting and special Fabrengen. Let's start off with a L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, bayirei pri hagafen. Of course, we are joined today with Tzivos Hashem headquarters in a massive, beautiful Fabrengen. And I wanted to start off by saying, Chof Cheshvan, it is this year. We're in the 100th yahrzeit of the Rebbe Rashab, and we have a very special surprise by this rally. But not only is it 100 years of the yahrzeit of the Hilula and passing of the Rebbe Rashab, it is 40 years of Tzivos Hashem, the 40th birthday. This year, as we mentioned, has to be a completely different year. And as we promised over the past 2 weeks, we had a lot of Chayalim helping me out. We spent almost $2,000 on new prizes. So get ready to sign up for the new year. We're about to launch a massive sign-up, and Be'ez Hashem, it's going to happen this week. Every single child that signs up this year, every single soldier, will be able to get the very new My Parsha book, a beautiful new book, and probably in stores will cost $60 or more, but a gorgeous book for every child that signs up. We can't wait. And this year has to be different than any and every other year. Whereas the Rebbe asked in one of the first rallies, the Rebbe made a rally, and then by the time it was Hanukkah, the Rebbe said, if for some reason there's still some soldier that's not signed up to Tzivos Hashem, he should sign up, take him a miyad mamish right away. The Rebbe didn't leave it up to the adults. The Rebbe said, the Rebbe maybe knew that adults can't always rely on, but did ever rely on the children to go recruit. We're about to make a very special recruiting campaign to make sure that not one child in Melbourne, and in fact, hope soon the entire Australia, is not left out signing up for Tzivos Hashem, so we could create finally an army of light, as the Rebbe Rashab called us, Neidos Lahoyer, lamps that will light up the entire world, and the whole world will see the brightness of Hashem. Let's join straight into our headquarters and L'chaim Shimi.
Welcome Chayalim from around the world. We are celebrating Chof Cheshvan, the Rebbe Rashab's 160th birthday. Let's start with one of the Rebbe Rashab's nigunim, the Nigun Hachana.
And don't forget to fill out your missions. So sing the nigun. If you fill out your missions, we have exciting prizes we'll speak about in a moment, but join along. Just as a reminder again, you could win one of 3 amazing prizes. Number 1, your very own Tzivos Hashem cap and sweatshirt. Number 2, an amazing, incredible Lego set of close to 600 pieces And finally, our very special spy glasses recorder that actually record. And the way to get into the raffle is right after the rally, you go to chabadyouth.org/raffle. chabadyouth.org/raffle and fill out and tick all the missions you did during the rally. I said the 12 psukim. I sang the nigga together. I listened to the Rebbe saying the stories about the Rebbe Rashab. I gave tzedakah. Every tick is a special chance to win in the raffle. Now we have a very special announcement. Of course, every single rally we include Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah. We'll start off with Tefillah because the world really needs our Tefillahs now. And the world is relying on us, the children. As we see today that it's the children that have the ability to change the whole world. When the children want something, they get it. And a very, very exciting news for the entire Melbourne. History has been made this week once again. I want you to stand up where you are and give the greatest salute. We have a boy that is already in year 7, but he's not quitting. And for the first time in history, we have a 4-star general. You heard me right. A 4-star general. So I'd like to say a special L'chaim to Yossi. L'chaim Yossi Sipris, 4-star general. As the Rebbe said that when you do your missions, not only you get brachas, besides the beautiful bags you get, you actually bring brachas to your house. You bring brachas to your family. You bring brachas to your yeshiva and the whole community. The whole entire Australia is benefiting that we finally have a strong, tough soldier that won't give up. So if you stand up and please welcome General Yossi Sipris.
I'm not Tayach, Mizra David. Yam Khatina Bian Sarah. Yesav Gecha Shem Yakad. Yishlach Ezachani Kaidesh. Ometzi and Yesadeka. Yiskaka Amen Chaisecha. Ve'elas Chaidash Nesela. Yiten Lecha Kilvavecha. Chalat Haschaya Amale. Nana Bashwesecha, Shemelino Nidgal. Maladina Kamishaletecha. Ate Dati Keshiotin Mishicha. Yani Omish Mikache. Igbur Seshamina. Elaver Kabiela Sosim. ואנחנו משמנו לנסקר, הם הקרו בין הפולו, ואנחנו קמנו בנסודון, וביני השיר המלך עננו וינקרנו.
Thank you, 4-star General Yosef Yitzchak, and we hope to see you climb even higher till we get you to a 5-star General, and you'll, Be'ezer Hashem, Bli Neder, have maybe your own helicopter ride or something very, very exciting, and we can't wait to see you become a 5-star general. Okay, Chayalim and Chayalai, sit back and relax for what I think the most incredible Farbrengen, as we'll Farbring the life of the Rebbe Rashab, the tzaddik, the Rebbe that said, I had enough. We have enough, too many years. We relied on everyone, but it's not happening. We got to bring Mashiach. And then Rebbe Rashab got up and he said, we're going to do something different. I'm going to draft an army. And we're going to have the special Bachrim and the Chassidish girls that will not be Nispal, not from Gullus and not what's going on outside and not in the news. But they will stay focused on the mission and actually bring Mashiach. Of course, we know that a little while later, the Rebbe said, all right, now for the final mission. And the Rebbe said, just like every army, there's different missions. And sometimes, if there's a special mission, we need to bring in new, fresh recruits. And the Rebbe said that our mission in our generation is that we want Mashiach now. And to make it happen, the Rebbe says the only thing I could do is bring in new recruits. And that's going to be the children. So let's dive right into the childhood and life of the Rebbe Rashab, and remember where we come from and where we're marching to. Remember, by listening carefully and closely and with respect, you get to do another tick. And we have a very, very exciting surprise. The first time that, though I was in Russia and I was in Rostov, we'll talk about that soon, but for some reason I never made it to Lubavitch. But today I'm very excited because we're going to have a real tour of the original city of Lubavitch. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Chayalim, each year on Chof Cheshvan, the Rebbe held a special Farbrengen to honor the Rebbe Rashab. Today, we are going to have a very special Farbrengen as we go through the life of the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab was born on Chof Cheshvan in the year Tov Reish Chof Aleph, called the year of Kisra. 8 days after the Rebbe Rashab was born, everyone was preparing for his special bris. Let's see what happened.
What a schus to be at such a special Bachnacht. To be able to take part in the learning the night before the bris. Meanwhile, Rebbetzin Chaya Mushka, the newborn's grandmother, was awake in her room adjacent to the Tzemach Tzedek's study. What could my husband want to tell the Gabbai at such a late hour? Devorah Leah, would you please do something for me? If Mama sent me to listen, it must be important. Please tell my son that his baby's bris must be postponed. Rebbetzin Rivka sent her daughter Devorah Leah to speak with the Tzemach Tzedek. Devorah Leah, please tell Tati he can't postpone the bris. Rebbetzin Rivka is too weak, and the delay will worsen her condition. The conversation continued with Devorah Leah running back and forth between her parents. Mama asked not to delay the bris. She said that as the daughter of the Middler Rebbe, a Talmid Chacham, she has the right to demand that it be on time. What can I do when your mother demands it with that power? I am obligated to listen. However, the bris will be when it has to be. It doesn't seem like my baby is ready for the bris. After consulting with other Moalim and the Tzemach Tzedek, it was decided to postpone the bris.
At the Rebbe Rashab's bris, the Tzemach Tzedek instructed, there should be no more than 20 people at the bris.
The Rebbe Rashab's bris was rescheduled for a month later, on the second day of Hanukkah. How very different from the last one. Smaller, simpler.
Like by the second set of luchos that were given quietly, without a commotion, and they lasted forever.
Wow! Now let's hear the same story directly from the Rebbe.
Durch der Schiefer, wenn geht zu den Bries, von dem Baal Jem HaIledes, ist das gewesen ein Bries Nitche. Als gedacht soll sein, der Bries, die mit Duwech auf sein Becheshwin, und dann noch wie der Silba Rucha von der Sicherheit von Rabbein und der eine von Rebben dem Schwerchen nicht gedruckt. In Chanechle Nahr, also zum Echzede geschickt sorgen bei Nacht. Also der Bries wird nicht sein wie jetzt ab morgen. Und dann noch gewinnt eine ganze Stauschle so in Jonen, die mir super schon bei Rucho, bis wann hat man sich gewollt, soll Dafke sein, die ganze Anhoge mit allen Unionen, danach haben sie Mercedes gedacht sein Sandig, und danach haben wir gewollt, Frau machen den Mila allein, hat ihn gesehen, dass das Mercedes hat früher gesagt, 3 Mal, hat der Brief nicht können sein, bei ihm, aber wir können nicht mal sein, und man hat das so gelegt, dass er gewähnt, der Brief danach in Beis Chanukah. Kimi super mit allen Protein in der Chanukah.
The Tzemach Tzedek asked that the baby be named Sholem after his father, Reb Sholem Shachna, and Dovber after the Mittler Rebbe. Chayalim, as we know, little Sholem Dovber grew up to become the 5th Chabad Rebbe. Now, let's move on to the Rebbe Rashab's Upshernish.
Mazel Tov, Shalom Dovber is turning 3. His Zayti, the Tzemach Tzedek, wants his Upshernish to be a secret. He also says that the Rebbe Rashab should sleep in his special Yechidus room the night before his birthday. The next morning, after davening, the Tzemach Tzedek tells the Rebbe Rashab's parents that he will anoint Shalom Dovber with a jug of ruchnistic oil that was handed down from the Baal Shem Tov. That day, the young Shalom Dovber is taken to the Cheder for the first time. The Tzemach Tzedek throws candies at him and explains that they are from Malach Michal. Little Shalom Dovber takes this very seriously and saved all the candies. 5 months later, on Erev Pesach, the Tzemach Tzedek reminds his grandson about the candies since they are chametz. Now, there's nothing for a young Rebbe Rashab to do but eat every single one.
As a young boy, the Rebbe Rashab used to have discussions with his big brother, the Razah. Let's listen.
The young Rashab and Razah were having a discussion. Zalman, what makes a Yid special? A Yid special? Well, a Yid is smarter and can learn and daven with feeling, learn lots of Torah, and do so many mitzvahs.
But what about a Yid who is less smart and does not do all those things?
What makes him special? Devorah Leah had overheard her brother's conversation and repeated it to their father, the Rebbe Maharash. Shalom Ber, please call my helper Ben Sion. Ben Sion, did you eat?
Yes, Rebbe.
Did you eat well?
Well, what does well mean? Baruch Hashem, I'm satisfied.
Why did you eat?
To live?
And why do you live? Ben Sion sighs.
To be a Yid and do what Hashem wants.
Thank you, Ben Sion. Now, can you please call Ivan? Ivan, did you eat today? Yes, Rabbi. Why did you eat? To live. And why do you want to live?
Why do I live? Well, that's simple. Why do I live? Well, that's a simple question. To eat, to drink, and have a good time.
You see the difference now? A guy smiles because The pleasure of eating and drinking is enough for him, but a Yid sighs, knowing he has not yet reached the pure truth.
Now let's listen to the Rebbe saying this story.
Danach der Reingriff mal jeden, der im Gänzwert als lebt, der soll können tun, a ihnen soll Mitzwe, a ihnen soll Teile, mit keinem sich rotzen abwählen, bechulen, und hat er bei noch gegeben, a Kreuz, als sie wer weiß, gar jetzet.
As a child, the Rebbe Rashab would also play special games with his older brother, the Razah. Let's watch.
The young Rebbe Rashab, Shalom Dov Ber, often played with his brother, the Razah Zalman Aron. You're older. You can be the Rebbe. I'll be the Chassid. Okay, let's start the game. Rebbe, I need a tikkun. Why? Once I cracked nuts open on Shabbos. Later I found out that the Alter Rebbe says not to eat nuts in a shell on Shabbos. Aha. My advice is to start davening from inside the siddur instead of by heart. Your suggestion won't help, and you are no Rebbe. What makes you say that? You gave good advice, but you did not krechs first. A Rebbe would sigh before he gives an answer.
And now, once again, we get to hear the Rebbe telling us this story.
Rebbe beschwert einmal bestiehlt als People wegen sein Vater. Bestiehlt hat doch noch gewähnt, Bechai von dem Tzemach Tzedek. Sein Vater, der noch gewähnt, naht nicht älter von 5 Jahren oder 5 mit einem halben Jahr. Vor allem der Tzemach Tzedek in Stahl geworden, mit dem Schwester gewähnt, naht 5 mit einem halben Jahr. Hat so gespielt mit seinem älteren Bruder, mit der Zalman Aron. Als seine Sache gewachsen in der Hui, was sich halt gerät, Chofi und Rebbe, haben sie sich zusammengerät, damit sich gehen spielen in Chofi und Rebbe. Wie bald als der Bruder seine, gewähnt älter von mit 1,5 Jahren, ist geblieben, als ist ein Rebbe, und der Rebbe nicht muss sagen, wird kommen sein, wie ein Chofi tragen sich. Hat Reb Zalman Schlecker auf der Zilden sich Reb Zalman Aron weggesetzt auf der Benko und so gerückt auf den Hitel übergedreht. Und danach ist zugegangen, der Rebbe ist nur sehen und gefragt bei ihm Artikel. Sagt er, was darfst du haben den Tikkun? Sagt er, als vorigen Schabes, in 3 Wochen früher Schabes, hat er gegessen Niklas. Danach hat man gesagt, dass der alte Rebbe schreibt in Sider, als Schabes darf man nicht essen, Kinder geben. Hat er geändert für seine Namen, als du sollst anheben, Tavlen in Sider nicht affechten. Ändert der Rebbe nicht mehr sagen, sich mit helfen und ein bisschen Rebbe nicht. Als wenn es von Lanet weißt und was sagt das, sagt der Rebbe, als ändert, darf ein Krecht stellen. Der Einzige, was gewähnt an Mädchen, du hast aber nicht in Krecht getan. Als nicht in Krecht getan, bist nicht in Rebbe und der ist nicht gemessen. Beschaß Avide, darf helfen Aviden. Was war Hafteler Jakob Komecha, Mada Lok Sonny, Lachavrak Litavi. Die Dose sagt, Kol HaPeiro Kula Veidach Pirushahu, ist wenig in dem, als soll sein der Vechesed, was helft dem,
A few years later, it was time for the Rebbe Rashab's Bar Mitzvah. Chayalim, did you know that before the Bar Mitzvah, the Rebbe Rashab learned the entire Mishnayos Baal Peh? And not only that, the Rebbe Rashab mastered the entire section of Eirech Chaim and Shulchan Aruch. He learned it with such intensity, over and over again, until the Eirech Chaim became part of his character. In fact, As the Rebbe Marash said, my son was never a child. In his younger years, he was already a Mesudadika Yira Shamayim. And by the time of his bar mitzvah, he had become a chassid with an orderly system of Avodah. When the Rebbe Rashab was just 22 years old, his father, the Rebbe Marash, was nostalgic. And his oil is in Lubavitch. Chayalim, we are now going to have the incredible schus to go live to the town of Lubavitch. We have with us Rabbi Moonshine, a shliach from the city of Smolensk, a city about an hour and a half drive from Lubavitch. He, together with his chayalim, have made the special trip to join us. Welcome, Rabbi Moonshine.
Thank you for having us. We are walking towards the oil of the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek and the Rebbe Marash. As you see, the shul, which was near the oil, was just rebuilt. Let's go in.
The Rebbe Rashab would often daven here, especially before he opened Tomchit Minim.
Kinderlach, do you know what year the Rebbe Marash was installed?
I know, Chof Mem Gimel.
You're right, 5643.
Do you know that the Rebbe Rashab was only 22 years old at the time?
And now follow us as we're walking into the oil of the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek and the Rebbe Marash, the Zaidi and the father of the Rebbe Rashab.
Right here is Rebbe Rivka, the mother of the Rebbe Rashab.
She was also known as the mother of the Tmimim.
Yes, and Rivka is named after her. And there is the oil of the Rebbe twins, of the Alter Rebbe, Mittler Rebbe, and the Tzemach Tzedek.
Did you know that the Alter Rebbe learned in Lubavitch as a child?
Yes, and here is the Matzeva of the Malamed, Rebbe Sachar Ber.
The oil and the Beis HaChaim are at the edge of town. Follow us as we walk back to the main town of Lubavitch. Chayolim, after the Rebbe Marash was installed, the Hasidim and the Razah accepted the Rebbe Rashab as their Rebbe. The Rebbe Rashab did not officially accept the Nesias for 10 years, till the year Tov Reish Nun Gimel, 56-53. These 10 years, the Rebbe Rashab was involved in Avodas and Klal and guiding the Hasidim.
He helped the Yidden fight the Maskilim,
Sending matzah to Jewish soldiers. Collecting money for the poor. Creating more places for Yidden to work.
protecting the Hasidim from being expelled from their cities.
It's going to take another few minutes till we get there.
Okay, we'll take a break and we'll see you soon.
Health Resort, Vienna, 1903. The Rebbe Rashab has left his home in Lubavitch, Russia, to receive medical treatment for 3 months. Yosef Yitzchak, do we have any money left? Yes. We don't have much, but I can pawn my silver cane. Is this the Schneerson hotel room? I have a package. Yes. Thank you. This isn't the first delivery today. Ram, a high-end women's clothing store. Is my father buying them for the Einiklach? That evening. Prepare for a trip. Our destination is a 3-hour walk away. I have questions, but I trust my father completely. The next morning. Thank you for comforting me over the loss of my husband. I noticed that you have unmarried children still at home. How can I marry my daughters off without the money for a dowry? The next day. Here, I brought this for Hachnasas Kala. Now, your daughters can get married easily.
Chayolim, now we are standing at the gate, the main chotzer, the courtyard of our Rabbeim. Let's go in. From when Hasidim left Lubavitch until 20 years ago, there was absolutely nothing here. Chayolim, do you know what this building was?
This is where the Zala Gadol was.
That's right. Did you know why the Rebbe Rashab established Tomchet Mimim?
He wanted a yeshiva where the Talmidim learned Negla and Hasidus. The Rebbe Rashab chose all of the special neshamis that will ever learn in Tomchet Mimim.
Look, that's where the Fredka Rebbe lived. That's where the house of the Rebbe Rashab used to be. That's where the house of the Rebbe Mahas was.
Do you know that when World War I broke out and the Germans were getting closer to the Russian border, the Rebbe Rashab decided to leave?
Yes, he did not want to be under the rule of the Germans.
Yes. In the year 5676, after 102 years in Lubavitch, on the 16th of Cheshvan, the Rebbe Rashab and his family left Lubavitch. Do you know who came to see him off?
Everyone! The Talmidim! The teachers! The Mashpiyim! The Rav! All the men, women, and children of Lubavitch.
That's right. But you know that also the Goyim came to say goodbye? Right here in the Chotzer where we're standing in Lubavitch. As the Rebbe Rashab stood on the wagon, he called out, Seid gesund, be well. And everyone answered,
Fahrt gesund und kommt gesund. Safe travel and safe return.
And then they went on their way to Rostov on the river Don.
Wow! Rabbi Moonshine, that was incredible! Thank you so much to you and your Chayolim, your entire family.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi Weinbaum, and thank you for that amazing tour in Lubavitch. And now let's take a break. Not really a break, going to our next part, the 12 Pesukim, but a special surprise as we'll let Rabbi Shimi introduce it. So it's going to be a little bit different this time, but don't forget, as you watch it, to continue to saying the 12 amazing Pesukim that the Rebbe revealed to us as our very secret and special missions. And the Rebbe, while I was listening to one of the rallies recently, the Rebbe said something amazing. The Rebbe said that we have to learn from an army, right? In fact, the whole reason why Hashem makes armies in the world is that we should understand how to fight the Yetzer Hara. But the Rebbe said there's a few big differences. And one of them is, the Rebbe said, that an army always needs to update their weapons. If they don't update their weapons, they're going to be a failed army. And all the time they have to figure out new inventions and new ideas and new tactics, how to make new type of weapons that will be up to date and modern and win. But the Rebbe said the difference is that Tzivos Hashem uses the oldest weapon and the only weapon that always works every time and it's stronger than any weapon. And that's, of course, a 3,500-year-old weapon, the Torah. So before we do the 12 Psukim, let's take out tzedakah if you didn't do it yet. And if you don't have it in front of you, you could do it right after the rally to make sure you get your points. And try to give 10. As Rabbi Wyman always mentioned, I heard the Rebbe say it, that dafke 10, because as we know, there are 10 different types of Yidden that the Pasuk describes in Nitzavim. And of course, a shekel is 20 geta. So a half a shekel is 10. And it reminds us that every Yid is only half, and we always need another Yid. So, Gedoyle Tzedakah Shemekareves as a Geula. And without further ado, back to Rabbi Weinbaum for the incredible 12 Pesukim.
Chayolim, how could we have a rally without the 12 Psukim? We're gonna sing the 12 Psukim with a special video made by Teimchet Mimim, Lubavitch of Crown Heights. And these songs were originally made by a commander, a very special commander in Tzivos Hashem, Rabbi Katzin. Chayalim, sing along!
Don't forget to sing along.
Shaki
I'm still feeling the goosebumps, even though, first of all, l'chaim for all of us, and l'chaim for Rabbi Katzen, which should be true soldiers. I hope, I know we were all mesmerized by that music, so I hope everyone said the 12 Sukkim. If you by mistake forgot a pasuk or two, don't forget to say them before you enter your raffles. Again, we're having 3 massive prizes. Rabbi Katzen was not my teacher because I went to Ali Torah, but nonetheless, every Shabbos like a soldier of the Rebbe. Summer, winter, hot and cold, rain or snow, every single Shabbos at 770, we went to Mesilas Shabbos, and he would run, and even when he was much older, when I was already married, I would walk in and have such nachas to watch the same Shabbos parties happen in 770, and I used to sing actually every single week, and I remember it was a Shnas Hakel. We used to have every Wednesday night, the Hakel gatherings, and I still know those songs from way back when, probably a good 25, 30 years ago maybe, or maybe more, Shah. Okay, now for our Yehid Atzayin. We have another announcement for a very special birthday boy that just recently celebrated his 10th birthday and has recently become a general. So, first of all, unfortunately we can't have live rallies yet, but generals should not miss out. So let's stand up and salute our next general as he leads us in Yehid Atzayin, and don't forget to ask Hashem with all our might. May it be your will. Now, enough is enough. We've been crying this for too long, and we've been meaning this so long. And without further ado, let's rise as we welcome our general, Yosef Yitzchak Lipsker.
Ratzain, Milfanecha, Adinai, Eloheinu, Velohei, Aviseinu, Shebane Beisamikash, Meiravi Yameinu, Vesein Chalkeinu, Besairasecha. Shebane Beisamikash, Meiravi Yameinu, Vesein Chalkeinu, Besairasecha.
And before we continue to a very special tour, I was zoiche for 2 weeks, about maybe a bit more, to be in the city of Rostov, a city that Rebbe Rashab moved to after he had to leave Lubavitch, and we're going to find out about a very amazing discovery that 3 Rabbeim were involved in, a special mikveh that was buried for close to 70 years. And you hear an amazing surprise where the Rebbe Rashab, the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the Rebbe himself also was apparently in that mikveh when he came to visit the Frierdiker Rebbe. This is incredible, and we're about to visit the special city. And before we do that, let's sing a niggun named after actually the Rebbe Rashab city. A city niggun that was introduced by Reb Shmuel Gorari, and very interestingly, both of the nigunim of the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe Rashab is 2 nigunim, and interestingly, they're both hachana nigunim. Hachana means preparation nigunim. The one we sang at the beginning of the rally is the hachana. We don't just start the Dalet Bab, is the holy niggun of the Alter Rebbe. We can't just sing it. We go with a introduction niggun, and Of course, before the Rebbe would say a maimer, he would also ask for a niggin, and that niggin is called niggin rastav, or also the hachana niggin. It seems like the Rebbe Rashab was the hachana, the preparation to actually change the world forever and bring Mashiach. So please join me as we sing the niggin that the Rebbe Rashab held so close, niggin hachana.
Hi Chayolim, thank you for having me, and welcome to Rostov, the city of the Rebbe Rashab. So this is the house.
Wow. And now, without further ado, let's move on to a very special shliach, Rabbi Danziger, all the way from Rostov, where he is right now, and it's the actual house of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and of course the Rebbe Rashab, the Baal Yom Huledet. So without further ado, back to Rostov.
Hi Chayolim, thank you for having me, and welcome to Rostov, the city of the Rebbe Rashab. So this is the house known as Bratsky Sorak Dva, the 42nd house on Bratsky Street. They moved in 1918, Tishrei of 1918. What's special, if you notice, there's a very big gate to this house. Something that most of the houses around here don't have. If you look at the houses across the street, they don't have these big gates. Why does this have a big gate? This was considered a house of the rich people, the wealthy, as carriages and horses were able to come in here, and it was a special house that was really something the Rebbe Rashab needed, and I'll explain why. So when you come into this house, you'll notice there's a big courtyard with walls outside. And it's something that's very special because moving in that time, think about this, 1918. You're talking about the time of the revolution, the time of great uncertainty here. It was very difficult. The Rebbe Rashab wanted to build a mikveh. And to build a mikveh, you need to have a house that you're able to have the oitzer, you're able to have the water coming down without anyone seeing. So that's why this house is unique. If you look around, there's a wall around the house. And there's no problems with neighbors or anything else. So they bought this house. It was considered a special house, a big house. You can actually see right here on the wall, there's a fence that used to be the gate, the entranceway to this house. And we assume that this is what was here in 1916, 1915, 1918, 1920, when the Rebbe Rashab lived here. So to look at this house, you have two parts of the house. You have this part of the house here, which is where the Rebbe Rashab, the Frierdiker Rebbe, lived. In this part of the house, the Yechidus room, the Farbrengen room, the Beis Medrash. Then you have this part of the house, which is where Rabbi Landa, the Chassidim, the secretaries lived in this part of the house. So the mikvah is right here. It was discovered by the Shliach in Rostov, Rabbi Eliashiv Kaplon, together with the Chof. Here. Hello. Okay. So this is the mikvah right here. So they came into this room, and this was a basement. There was nothing here, dirt on the ground. They started, moving what was on the floor, and they uncovered the first step right here. This is the first step. They uncovered the first step, the second step, the third step, and they realized this was the mikvah. The most amazing thing that was found here was that when they dug it all up, they found that the the water, the rainwater, if you look in the corner of the mikvah, that was covered with a stone, and there was still water in there when they found this. So imagine the mikvah was sitting here empty for 70 years, and then they found right in there that there's still water from the times of the Frierdiker Rebbe. This mikvah was used by the Rebbe Rashab, the mikvah was used by the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the mikvah was used by the Rebbe that came here in the times that the Frierdiker Rebbe was here. So it's an amazing source to have such a mikvah here, and it's historic, the first Lubavitch mikvah. And this is the place right here. This is the personal living quarters, the Yechidus room, the Rebbe Rashab. Take a look. So here is this is where the Frierdiker Rebbe lived, down here. Obviously this is renovated, so there's not much to see here today. When there was the yeshiva here, this was the dining room. We're going to come back here soon. So the Rebbe Rashab's Yechidus room and the room where the Rebbe Rashab lived in, the Rebbetzin is right up here. I'm going to take a look right now. This is the room where the Rebbe Rashab lived, and the Rebbetzin lived. Their personal quarters, two rooms. These two rooms are the Rebbe Rashab's and the Rebbetzins' personal quarters. And if you heard the story, when the Rebbe Rashab was nostalgic, he asked to be taken to the Zal. The Zal was in the Yechidus room, which was basically to be taken from here into this room, the Yechidus room. Was asked to be taken into this room. This is the Yechidus room. This is, you can actually take a look here at the entrance. There's some nails, original nails that were here when they found the house right here and right there from the times of the Rebbe Rashab. So the Rebbe Rashab had one picture taken of him when he was planning, he needed to get a visa, they were planning to go to Georgia, and the picture of the Rebbe Rashab is with this wallpaper in the background. So this is the original wallpaper from the time of the Rebbe Rashab. You could also look part of the ceiling here. That was the original ceiling in the times of the Rebbe Rashab. The Rebbe Rashab asked to be taken to this room exactly 100 years ago, Beis Nisan. The Rebbe Rashab asked to be taken to this room, and this is where the Rebbe Rashab said, that I'm going to heaven and I'm leaving you the chsavim. And this is the message that we live with, the message that's important to us, that we connect to the Rebbe, to the Nasi Rebbe, through the chsavim, through learning the Rebbe's sichos, the Rebbe's maimarim, the Rebbe's letters. That's a lesson to each and every one of us. So this is the historic room of Yechidus. It was a big room, people were coming from one side.
Now this place that you're looking at, the reason why there's a little guard over there, like a bit of a gate, is that's where actually the Rebbe Rashab was nostalgic. After nostalgic They put the tzaddik on the floor to pour water for the Tara, so no one's allowed to walk there, and that's why that whole area is blocked off. And that sign that you saw maybe a second ago was a sign that says this is where the Rebbe Rashab was. So till today, even if you walk into the Rebbe Rashab's Yechidus room, you cannot walk in that area.
And this is the room that was known as the Farbrengen room. In this room that the Rebbe Rashab, the Frierdiker Rebbe, they'd have Farbrengens. There's also a little Beis Medrash you can actually see here. So the Rebbe Rashab used to really sit right over here. The Rebbe Rashab would sit here, and this is where everything took place in this small little room. And there was a passageway between this room to the other side of the house, which is where the Chassidim lived. So you go through from this room to this room, and this is where the Chassidim lived. I want to introduce you to a fellow Chayil, a shliach here in Rostov, my son Yaakov Danziger.
Hi, fellow Chayalim. We are now at the edge of the basic climb of Rostov. There's a Chayil and shliach living in Rostov, and special connections with the Rebbe Rashab. Let me take you to his OL. On behalf of my fellow Chayalim around the world. Achlai Kedushas and Mar Harshab. Ana La'er Rachamim Rabbim Avor Noan Shal Yaakov Rafal Ben Kela Rachel. Dear Rebbe, you established Shachat Tamim recruiting Bahrain to dedicate their lives to Chayalim Beis David. Our Rebbe recruited the children to volunteer as soldiers in Shem's army to finish the battle and bring Mashiach now. On this Yom HaDepagra, we the Chayalim of Tzilas Hashem ask the Rebbe Rashab to storm the heavens on our behalf and demand that we merit the final revelation of Mashiach now. Of the Rebbe Tzedek Kapitel of the Rebbe Rashab today. Since it's his 160th birthday, we will now together say Kapitel Yud Aleph. I'm saying that we're not Chassisi Ech Temer Lashi Neidi Erchem Sefer Hine Ershem Yijakun Keshes Kenu Chitam Ali Selirais Mayafel Liyishrei Lev Kiyash Seis Yersun Tzadik Ma'achal Anai Be'echal Patrei Anai B'Shamayim Kisei Einav Yachzil Afifav Yuchanu B'nei Adam Anai Tzadik Yuchan Rashav V'Hayev Chamas Sheina Nafshay Yamter Al Shrem Pachim Eish V'Kafris V'Rol Tzulafais Mlas Kaisam Ki Tzadik Anai Tzedakais Ayishar Yachzil B'Neimah. Thank you for joining us from Rostov.
Thank you so much. That was so inspiring, and thank you to your father, Rabbi Danziger. What a special schos to be with you in Rostov on Chof Cheshvan. And now, Chayalim of Tzilas Hashem. Just 2 months ago, we challenged you, after not receiving the most incredible Shabbaton last year, to still not give in to the Yetzer Hara, and to stand strong, and to join the Chidon. Everybody was telling us, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, you're going to see, the Chayalim are not going to sign up. But you proved them wrong. Yes, over 5,000 Chayalim have signed up for this year's Chidon. They're not giving into the Yetzer Hara, they're standing strong, learning the 613 mitzvahs, and you will be the ones to really greet Mashiach B'karei Mamash. It's just going to be a matter of days before all of us take the first Chidon test, and I can't wait to see the results. Chayalim during Sukkot this year, thousands of Chayalim got their own lulav and esrog to go on Mifsayim and conquer your cities. In fact, we already have reports of over 23,000 sheikhs this year from Yidden around the world during COVID. Take that, Yitzhahara! And we didn't stop there. Over Chol Hamoed Sukkos, we celebrated 40 years of Tzivos Hashem with the most incredible Tzivos Hashem bus. We went to Crown Heights, we went to Borough Park, to Flatbush, to Five Towns, all different communities to bring to them the joy of Sukkos. And now, Chayalim, it's coming up to the time when we start working on our Menorahs for the Menorah contest. And of course, to make sure to order your Mifsayim ammunition for Mifsa Chanukah. Salute all of you Chayalim that were promoted in rank. And this month we have sent out over 25,000 medals and more than 5,000 rank books and cards. You are doing the most incredible job. Keep up the great work. Chayalim, every 3 months we have a huge grand raffle for any Chayalim who completed at least 60 days of missions and got the 60M flag. If you are one of those Chayalim who got the 60M flag, I want you to stand up so we can give you a round of applause.
And thank you, Rabbi Weinbaum. So just as we close this rally, remember, number 1, to make sure you did your Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah, and to fill out the missions, ChabadYouth.org/raffle. And as soon as you finish the rally, you can start all over again at ChabadYouth.org/rally. But to get into the raffle, ChabadYouth.org/raffle. And Be'ezer Hashem, tomorrow on ChabadYouth.org/virtual, we will announce the winners. We'll also post them on the WhatsApps, etc. for the 3 exciting prizes of the spy glasses, the Lego set, and the Tzivos Hashem uniform. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Rabbi Shimi to end off the raffle, but I want to wish every single Chayil, boys and girls, that this year should be a year like no other. As the darkness, strong as the darkness, that means it just leaves room for us to make even a brighter light as the days of Chanukah are upon us. Very soon, of course, this weekend is the Kinnis HaShluchim. Each one is an open light, and all of you little Shluchim Lach, given the task to illuminate and brighten the world forever. So make sure, as we begin our Tzivos Hashem 40 years campaign, and I'm also speaking to the Shluchim locally, to make sure that we have also the Chabad houses, not just our community, but every single Jewish community, because we're really one community and one army of Hashem. So let us ask that the Rebbe Rashab, in the schus of the Baal Yom Haledes, will set up an army in his own words to fight those who make fun of Hashem and Yiddishkeit, that to fight those who make fun of Mashiach, to make sure that the whole world realizes that Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, and that Mashiach will take us out of Galus, take of Mi'ad Mamish L'chaim L'chaim. And I would like to now give a big Yisher Koyach to Rabbi Weinbaum and the Tzivos Hashem team. Don't forget, signing up to Tzivos Hashem, everyone automatically this gorgeous, beautiful book. You can't even buy it in golds yet. When it does, it's probably going to be about $60 or more. It's just about an entire annual fee of Tzivos Hashem. But make sure we get every Chayil and Chayelis inside. And of course, if someone needs help with the tuition for the membership, please let me know. And back to you, Rabbi Weinbaum.
Chayalim, now is the time that we say a huge thank you to Rabbi Moshe and Ruti Weiss for the incredible gift, my parsha, that they are giving to every Chayil in Tzivos Hashem. When you get your gift, please take a few minutes to write a thank you letter and let them know just how much you appreciate what they do for you. Chayalim, the Rebbe Rashab is known as the Rambam of Chassidus. Just like the Rambam organized Torah's halachas in a Sefer Mishnah Torah, the Rebbe Rashab organized Chassidus by explaining every subject so clearly. Did you know that the Rebbe Rashab said close to 2,000 Maimarim during his 37 years of Nesias? Hayalim, some years the Rebbe gave out a kuntris or a Maimar of the Rebbe Rashab to the Chassidim to learn. The Maimar Hecholzu, the kuntris Eitz Chaim, and the Maimar of Anechi Magillah. Hayalim, when you go home today, I want you to check and see if your mammy or tati or maybe your babi or zaidi received one of these special kuntresim from the Rebbe. And I want you to see and check, do you have any of the Rebbe Rashab's Sfarim in your house? Of course, don't just find the Sefer, make sure to learn something. Chayalim, it's been the most incredible Babrengen. I want to say l'chaim with you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam beirei pri hagafen. L'chaim Chayalim. May we be zeicher to complete our mission now. The Rebbe Rashab recruited the Bachrim into Teichet Mimim to be Chayalei Beis David. But the Rebbe recruited the children to Tzivos Hashem with our mission to bring Mashiach now. May we be zeicher that we should go from this Fabrik to the Rebbe's Fabrik, together with the Rebbe Rashab, together with all the Rabbeim, in the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, and B'karei Mamash L'chaim.
Asher Yismi Midorach Ha'alechim Esayas Adinai Asher Noitzerei Eida Yisrael B'cholei V'deshu Aflai Falu Avla B'drachav Halachu Atati Visa Fikudecha Lishmar Miyayid Belamdi mispetayiti kacha eschu kacha esmar alta zini adviyoi Amei zakinar esarchoi lishmar kidvarecha bechol livi dirashicha atashkeni mimitzvaysecha belibi safanti rasecha leman loy echatolach baruch ata adinoi lamedini chukecha bisvasai tziparti kol mispiteficha bederach eidevaysecha sastika al kolai befikudecha Archasecha, Bechukaisecha, Estasha, Lo Yeshach Devarecha. Gimol Alavdecha Echye, Vesmira Devarecha, Gal Einai Viabita, the flows with Toyasecha. Ger Anoichi Varetz, Ataster Mimeni Mitzasecha. Goris Sanach Shilasava, Amishvatecha Becholeis. Aha, 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 Garta, Zaydim Arim, Ha, Shoyim Mitzasecha. Aha, ay, 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 Galme Alai, Cherba Babos, Ki Eidai Sechana Tarti, Gam Yashuvu Sarim Binidvaru, Avdecha Yasiach Bishmukecha, Gam Eidai Secha Shashuai, Anche Yatasi.